for the marking for the pleated tote bag, we have two pieces that require marking. You have piece 14. You've got both fabrics, so I have it out of the outside of my bag, and then I would have it out of the inside of my bag fabric. And then piece number 11. And so on piece 14, it's telling you that we need to mark the handle placement. So for later on, when you're actually go to put your handles on your bag, you have a mark to line them up. You can do a couple different things. You can mark with a marking pen just by lifting it up. And so you would just make a little dash here on your fabric. My fabric is really dark, and so that pen's not going to show up very well, but that would be the quickest way to mark those placements. So I just grabbed the chalk paper and the tracing wheel, and that's going to probably show up a little bit better because I chose white. And we want to mark on the right side of the fabric, so I'm just going to lift that up, slide that under, and then just make a little mark and make sure that it transferred, and it did. And so then I would mark these two, unpin the fabric, because now you have to mark this piece, and so then line that back on top and then mark on that piece as well. So that would be piece 14. And again, you have two pieces of piece 14. You've got your outside and your inside, so mark handle placement on all of those. Okay, on the big piece, piece number 11, we have to mark all of these tuck lines all across the top. And so I like to leave it pinned on the bottom, so then it keeps it nice and even. And so what you're gonna do is open the chalk paper up. We want the chalk to transfer. So chalk side down, I'm gonna slide that underneath so that it's gonna mark my fabric. And then we're just marking these verticals. So on this pattern, again, it's an older one, you can see where someone has marked. So I'm just gonna take the tracing wheel and then mark the verticals. And a good amount of pressure so that you know the chalk is gonna transfer. And then I'm gonna slide that over. Again, you want to choose a color that's going to show up for you. So before I unpin it, I'm just going to take a peek, and it transferred all my chalk lines. So now I can unpin, and then I would want to flip it and do the other side the same way. So you want to mark the tuck lines on that side the exact same way. I also want to show you how these get pinned. So in the first couple of steps of the project, it's telling you to pin these pleats. And so I like to bring back this piece. You don't need to pin it, but bring it back because it tells you which way you are pulling the pleat lines. And so I bring this right up to the top, and I find the first two chalk lines. So it's telling me that I want to bring this pleat line or this tuck line out to this one. It's telling me to the left. So what I'm going to do is just find the second pleat line and then fold it, bring it back over on top of the first line. And I'll show all of these. And then you want to pin. Okay. So then come back to your pattern, and now here's my next two lines. So it's telling me I want to bring this line out to this line. So I'm going to bring this line out to that line and then just fold it back and pin. Okay, and now here's my next two lines. I'm going to bring this line, which is here, out to this line. So I'm just folding that out. So you will have 3 on each side. Okay, So then these are all going this way. And now if you look at your pattern, now for the rest, they want me to go to the right. So I'm gonna just keep going where I left off. So this line is here and it's telling me now I wanna bring that one out to the right. So I'm gonna sandwich those right on top of each other and pin. And you should have your notch in the middle there. Okay, next two. Bring those out. You want to make sure that you are as exact as possible. So don't rush this step because then it will affect the shape of that piece and you'll have problems later on. Okay, so I have one more. This is my last one. So I'm bringing that line out to that line and pin. So then when I move the pattern piece, I like to just pull the pleats down. And so now, before that piece was all jagged on top, now it's nice and straight all the way across. And I have 1, 2, 3 pleats going to the left, and then 1, 2, 3 pleats going to the right. So then I believe in the instructions, it tells you to baste across the top. And so remember, baste, you change that top knob on your machine to 4, and you're just gonna sew from here across to here to hold those pleats in place, and then you can take your pins out. So you would do the same thing with this second piece, mark it, pin it, baste it.